I'm saying? Because you guys always have all the time, you got the guys come up around and says, yo, my name is Malema, I do that, I do that. What they do? They don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? People like Nelson Mandela, 28 years, you know what I'm saying, which they put their life, which they did what they did, you know what I'm saying, representing people, people which meant to be now me and other white young kids and
the working
other
class.
Asian and the working class, yes, that's right. And people who just want to live the life that they had already forgot about what happened in the past, who liberated who went prison, who. But this is the right things that these people should be always being reminded in a positive way. But what this stupid Julius Malema and people like Jacob Zuma, you know, I'm afraid ever since they get rid of Thabo Mbeki, problems start to become bad for South Africa, and then in Zimbabwe, problems have already been started. But this time, just like everything, just like what people does, it's done on a different level. But for Malema, for my case, I'm sorry, I used to think exactly like him when I thought, yes, Mugabe was wrong when I supported MDC and say, yo, they should go. But surely then I left the nation and I left the continent, I left the motherland, which is probably to some people, they might think, yeah, the person has left the country, he's been in England, or they are in Europe, or they're in America. But look, that's more worse than just being in prison in Africa, because being away from that continent and that lifestyle in Africa is more than being in prison itself. Now I left that to come and learn, which is what gives me solace to live every day, and so is the other brothers that I live with that tells me, brother, we wish you best, we would like you to help Africa in future with your well-being, which you have preserved ever since coming to this place, which is far away from home. But we are away from home. Me and all other brothers from Nigeria, Eritrea, Somalia, Congo, everywhere. The ancestors of Africa have sent us here, just like the same way how the ancestors of every white African who is in Zimbabwe, South Africa, Namibia, Ghana, Congo, anyway, were done back then by the ancestors of good humanity that put them in the countries and in the places where we are. Today we can always have a problem and say, look, that's why where we are, because if it has never happened, maybe we would not have been in a position where we would be choosing what's right. We would not be in a position where we think we can feed. But the same thing like me, the same thing like everybody else who is away from Africa would tell you, people who you have there that are white, that are multicolored, that are Asian, it does not matter the color, it does not matter when they've come in that country, that region, it does not matter what they have and what they are producing and what they are keeping. What really matters is what they are playing in the community of other people. That's what really matters. We have come to countries where in Europe we have studied the law, but right now we are jobless because we are in places where we were not born in.
Yeah.
So surely that goes around to those ones who were born with us there, that if they come here, they'll receive the same treatment, because the country, when you ask it, it will tell you it's the law, it's the policy. And we're going to have the same policies, not what Julius Malema, the guy who went to a guy who went to a place or a boarding school or I don't know, which was around university, you know, and acquired his economic, whatever he did. Whatever they did, it shows me straight away, this is not the guy who went in there to study some political studies that could have helped people. And if he has done that, I'm sorry now, I'm going to tell him he does not qualify according to the true ancestors of Africa, the true liberation of both African continent, north, south, east, and west. Those who have died fighting the real imperialist and the real operator back then, they fight them to make sure that things will be equal, to make sure generations cannot always be let things go free. But that's the reason they did. They knew it's in the war, they'll never win, but they never stole things to make people suffer in the society at their account. Unlike what our brothers are now doing in places like Zimbabwe with my favorite uncle, Robert Gabriel Mugabe, as I would say favorite, because he is. But things that is happening there, that's making me to start to think this is not what I would think the ancestors of the nation or of the region would have want the country to be at. We are exposing ourselves, our feelings and everything just because of one small misunderstanding. And right now I would say, okay, maybe with what the President Mugabe, like I respect, I say, my uncle, it would be that maybe he wanted us to have the time, the chance to learn from what he is becoming tough on. But surely the way that Julius Malema is now coming into the neighboring South Africa it's got nothing to do with what we have learned since Mugabe started his problem in 1998. Right now, we could have get the Changirai back and get the white farmers get their lands back. That's why my favorite uncle gave people land but told them you should not build anything on that land. He knew once the people are ready to deal again, he can take the land and give it back to those who rightfully what belongs to it.
Yes.
Do you understand? But now with the Julius Malema, what he's doing is got no structure. It's something we had seen in other countries like Uganda, where Idi Amin kicked the Asian, in Zimbabwe where Mugabe kicked the white people. It's not that anyone who struggled, it's the majority, the people, the civil people out there, the guys who try to wake up every day and go and get a job, the guys who tries to do what they think that they can do in their own way of life and thinking, if I do my farming here, I'll sell my tobacco or my cotton at the end of the season. But unfortunately, because of certain things like sanctions and things that one man can create because of failing to choose not to understand. I don't want to understand. I don't want to know. I don't want to hear that. That's what caused people to struggle in the end. And we're seeing that, and there is no way that we're going to be doing that with people like Julius Malema. What we should be telling them and what he should be doing and what I'm being told by people to do is to tell this brother to piss off. That's what everybody is telling me at the moment. Mafia, you should go back to Africa and help your people, save your African people from that stupid rat, Julius Malema, who has just come down there. He is not a person who is representing the majority of your black people, Mafia, that we have said we like Africans because you represent a good culture here. That's why they gave you the name Mafia, the president or the general. It's not me who give myself these names. It's people who give me these names because they hear my stories, they hear what I believe in, how I walk, how righteousness of my life is. You all know. But to be given those names, it keep reminding you and make you see the mistakes that some certain comrades, as they would call themselves, comrades, how they will be kind of putting us back into the back of the war, when the war is something that is nearly being won. Right now, everybody is being educated. Everybody is educated, both Zimbabwe and South Africa. Everybody knows what is right and wrong for them. Surely it's not the right time to start to tell somebody who does not have his own food, who does not have a job, I want to fire your boss, then next year you'll be jobless again. Surely people should start to think again and start to realize what is important for them and what is important on talks. Words can say a lot of things, but surely words don't mean shit. These Malemas and these Zumas can have their front, they have their problem, and tell African people, oh yeah, we are doing this, whether they are organized in a level that they are setting Malema to do it without arresting him or anything. People should just know this is not good for them, and they should be resilient like people in Egypt and Libya and everywhere who have shown that maybe if you're resilient or if you rebel against something you don't want, you can always win. It does not matter whether they were rebelling for the right reason, like in Libya. I don't agree that they should have been rebelled to begin with. But in other places like Morocco, and we talk about Egypt, they had the right shout to rebel against. People wanted a change. They wanted to see it for themselves. And war is what's happening and is what they're seeing. And you people, you should know yourselves that what these leaders are telling you, these Malemas are telling you, can only make my boss to make a move, to go somewhere else. Go to Namibia and start to do business. But who's going to be left stranded? Who's going to be left jobless? Who's not going to have money to feed their children? Who's not going to have the food to give to their loved ones? Who's not going to buy Christmas presents for their people? Who is going to be dying with problems like flu, cholera, because there is no money to go to hospital or infrastructures within the government, because there is no other sources of money, tax or anything coming to the government to have hospitals and maybe education to look after people who does not have money. If you're going to get the guys who are trying to create the job and keep that circulation of tax into the government and things go. If these guys go, we have seen it everywhere else where the other brothers were given the businesses, but everybody outside the country don't want to deal with that company. They think we can do it ourselves. The more we are doing it amongst ourselves as brothers to say, oh, because the white man has got the business, fuck, you might want to take that land. The mistake you do, because the guy who's doing business with the white man is not a black man from Nigeria, is the white man from somewhere else. The more you take yourself out, the Nigerian guy is never going to come to you and say, I'm buying from you. What he does is steal from you through your workers and through knowing you. We have seen that through history. So that cannot make the government get money to look after poor people in the street. And right now, that's why I say these malemas and these idiot peoples, they are all people who just represent a small minority of very, very rich what people, and people who are happy, who actually love and breed on seeing people struggling. If this guy calls himself comrade, we all know what comrades does. Comrade are given the names because the titles comrade, because they fight for the real thing for the people. They are not given names comrade or go enforce themselves because they wear a fucking barretta or a military clothes and says my name is a comrade or something. No, that's a wannabe comrade or a wannabe something.